Hello, wall breakers. Welcome to the rebooted edition of Beyond the Walls. This is my mental health podcast. This encompasses everything from agoraphobia, panic attacks, depression, all of the above, you guys. I'm no doctor, just to say that up front, man. I am just someone that suffers from these things every single day, and I'm going to be doing this podcast to put it out into the world and hope that it gives other people a little bit of hope and a little bit of guidance along the way in their own journeys of mental health recovery. Alright, you guys, before we go any further, man, time to take our meds, guys. Let's take our meds for the morning, shall we? In my case, guys, it's medical cannabis. Now, I'm not going to just throw medical cannabis out there as a cure for everybody. This is what works for me. I found out a very hard way in the hospital that meds like SSRIs do not agree with my system, and they actually spiked my blood pressure so much in the hospital when I was there that it almost killed me. So, medical cannabis it is. Alright, you guys, now that we're medicated, man, let's get into the first episode. For this rebooted edition of Beyond the Walls, man, I'm just going to be sharing with you guys my story. I've told this story a billion times in the past, man, but with this rebooted edition of the show in my new home studio, you guys, I figured it's a good time just for a hard reset on the whole Beyond the Walls show and get the story back out there, give it a fresh start. So, I suffer from terrible panic attacks and agoraphobia. I have a really hard time with anything when it comes to leaving the house. Because of that, I do get depressed. So, guys, a little bit about me and my story, man. In 2016, I got hurt working for the post office. I was hurt on somebody's property, and that required 2 ankle surgeries that never really actually healed the injury. It still hurts just as bad today, all these years later, as it did in 2016. With all that being laid up and everything like that, and having, work ripped away from me and being able to drive ripped away from me, it tanked my mental health. By 2018, November of 2018, I had suddenly passed out for the first time in my life, randomly. To this day, knock on wood, it's never happened again, thankfully. But I do get those sensations as if I am going to pass out. We'll be getting into more of that later. But when I passed out, from that moment on, when I woke up, I suddenly had these debilitating panic attacks, and they just took over my life in a very, very massive, very quick, rapid way. So in that first year and a half, man, I was in the hospital 24 times. That's not an exaggerated number. I was convinced I was dying. You could not convince me otherwise, I thought. My heart was failing. I thought all these horrible things were happening. And it turns out it was, quote, just anxiety. That's what they kept telling me. It's just anxiety. It's never just anxiety, though, is it? I mean, when it's that debilitating, it really robs you of your entire life, and I'm sure a lot of you out there will agree with that. So, ironically enough, man, in my story, COVID, of all things, actually kind of helped save me in a weird way. Because once COVID happened and so many people were in the hospital, it stopped me from wanting to go there. I was like, you know what? As bad as this panic attack feels, I'm pretty secure knowing it's a panic attack at this point, and I don't feel like going there and getting COVID. So it actually put a stop to my hospital visits. By the time COVID came around, late 2019, early 2020, that's it. I was done. I was done going to the hospital, and knock on wood again, I have not been back since, thankfully. But my time there, it was spent in the psych ward and things like that, and I got a lot from it, and I learned a lot from it, but, I didn't have to keep going back. So moving on from that was a step in the right direction for sure. Not always hitting that 911 call every time I felt off, every time something happened. It's not like things just suddenly stopped happening. It's not like I stopped having the symptoms. Clearly, I still have them to this day. I just react differently to them. And that's what I want you guys to get from this show. It's not a doctor's perspective on what you should and shouldn't do. I'm not going to school for this. I'm not seeking this out as a career. Nothing like that. I'm just somebody that suffers, and I'm putting it out there for everybody else. And I hope that you guys get something from this too. And ultimately, you guys, what I really want you to get from this is the word hope. I hope that you get hope. As silly as that sounds. I really do, though. I hope that you guys get hope out of this, because you know what, man? 2023, I told you guys how 2016 was. I told you guys how 2018 was. Let's get into today, man. 2023, I still have anxiety. I still have panic attacks. Had really bad anxiety and panic all day yesterday. My fight or flight was just stuck in the on position all day yesterday. But today I woke up feeling a lot better, and I figured today was the day. Now that my home studio is set up, I've been doing that for the last couple of days for my other side projects that I do, and it was a good time to restart this show. Man, 2023 has been a great year, you guys. I went all the way to Massachusetts just about a month ago, a little over a month ago, man. And I got to meet the guys behind me. I got to meet Cheech and Chong. They're great. The whole team is amazing, man. They're absolutely great guys. It was a great experience. I'm sure I'll be putting a picture of that in this little part of the video, man. But 2023 has been a great year because I create content on their Bowlmates website and things like that, and it really got me out of my shell and got me doing stuff again for the first time in a very long time, having a life outside of these four walls, man. And that's why the show is called Beyond the Walls, because we're breaking down the walls, we're getting beyond them to life back outside there, man. Guys, that's it for this introduction episode, man. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Hopefully we're going to be doing this once a week if everything goes according to plan, but I really hope that you guys get something out of this. So, with that being said, let me know in the comments of this video what you guys would like me to talk about in future episodes, man. Coping mechanisms, more of my story, whatever you guys want, man, that's what this show is going to be. So let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see, and I'll catch you on the next one.